Welcome to the PHNX Coyotes podcast, brought to you by the one and only DraftKings Sportsbook app, America's top-rated sportsbook. Download today using code PHNX, and new customers can bet just $1 on any Thanksgiving NFL game and win $100 in free bets. It's just that easy. I'm Leah Merrill, joined by Steve Peters and Craig Morgan, and we welcome in special guests today, Coyotes goalie Scott Wedgewood. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome.
Thank you. This will be fun.
Yeah, say that now, Wedgie. That may change.
I'll send you my bill after. I don't know what it's going to be yet.
Exactly.
Why don't you start by telling people where you're living right now? Well, maybe we shouldn't.
Well, may not
where
exactly where. Like, give your room number, your floor.
Yeah, exactly.
You're in a hotel.
Yes. Yeah, I'm in a hotel still. So, hotel since I think got down to Jersey first week of September, and haven't cooked a meal since. So that's not me. That's not. I go out for dinner maybe 6 times a summer. So I'm struggling.
Well, I'm going to cut right to it and just kind of give people the background of the process, how this happens. You get called up to join the Jersey Devils, and then they go on a road trip to the West Coast, right?
Yeah. I was there from the start of the season. Yeah.
And then you're on a road trip and you're on waivers. You wake up in that morning, literally not knowing where you're going to work that day. And I don't think people can relate to that have, 9 to 5 jobs going, hey, when I get up this morning, I'm not sure what city I'm going to work in. Can you take us through what that morning was like for you?
Yeah. I mean, it's obviously a little bit, you're trying to find some information, I think would be the biggest kind of issue is no one knows anything. So the waiver wire is a 24-hour period. So I went on 12 o'clock at noon the day before, and I think it went to 2, maybe I think it's a little bit longer now. I think it would be 2 Eastern. It used to just be 12 to 12. And until 1:59, like nobody knows anything until the claims all come in. Someone in the NHL offices gets notified that a team put a claim in, and they let your team know, your team lets you know, your agent lets you know, and all of a sudden, you're a name on the back of a different team. So yeah, that morning it was kind of team had a late practice, and then they were traveling to LA. We were in Anaheim at the time. Just before bus, I think was leaving at 10:45, West Coast time. And I got a text from Tom Fitzgerald, the general manager of Jersey, and just said, hey, can you come down to the lobby real quick? So I was kind of like, okay, either I'm claimed or I'm getting shipped back or whatever. But they kind of said if I don't get claimed the day before, that I'd probably just finish the road trip instead of just sending me on a commercial flight back to New York to get to Utica. Got down to the lobby, and he was like, hey, Arizona put in a claim. We found out a little bit earlier, and they have first choice because of the standings, the way it works in snake order. So he's like, and even if anybody else puts a claim in, we won't know because they get first pick. And, Bill Armstrong will reach out in a minute here. And, then we just had obviously a personal conversation after that.
It's a little bizarre. I mean, we've talked about this already, but it's just a little bizarre the way you have joined the Coyotes. I mean, literally steps away, not even miles away, a drive involved or anything like that. Both times when you got traded in Jersey, you walked down the hallway, and this time you were in the correct city.
Yeah, I know. There was when people were going about the simulation we all live in with the similarities of the 2 first games and all that. Obviously, first time, like you said, I was pre-game skated with New Jersey, and then warmed up for the game and was in the visiting locker room in the same rink. And then this time, my gear didn't leave the practice stall that was in the away room in Anaheim, and I decided to take this time was a 20-minute Uber to the different hotel that you guys stayed at than what Jersey was in Anaheim there. So I had an extra day to go get a haircut and wait for you guys to travel in.
Did your agent play any role in all of this? I'm assuming he played some role, but isn't your agent the same agent that Carter Hutton has?
Yeah, he has Hutton, a few other guys around the league and things like that. So, once the waiver wire goes on, I'm not sure exactly what their role is, but I know that he, makes calls to teams that are obviously, dealing with injuries or potential, guys might be, looking for an upgrade or things like that. So, and he definitely hits the phones. I mean, that's kind of their role and through it all. But he had actually given me a call right as I was walking down to talk to Fitzgerald. He had also been given the word, so I was able to talk to him after I talked to Tom.
What was that experience like for you? Finding out that you got claimed, moving along. Obviously, the same exact scenario happened just a few years ago. What was your kind of immediate gut reaction to hearing that you got claimed by the Coyotes?
a little bit of a relief because you knew that the door was closed in Jersey at that moment, just because of obviously the waiver wire. You're going down the American League if nothing else is bringing you back up to the NHL at that moment. So, with their contracts, Bernie and Blackwood, I knew the door was going to close at some point. That was kind of inevitable. Was obviously hoping that I'd be able to stay on the roster with a little bit of the inconsistencies in their health at the time. And I think that was their play, because the day before they had told me, we're not going to send you down right away. We're going to see how things play out with these guys' health and obviously everything going on. And then they had 2 injuries that game in Anaheim. And it was like, hey, unfortunately, just the roster space is as limited as it is. We got to put you on. And then, a bit of relief, obviously not going back down the American League. I know that, not above it or anything, but like that. But I know that this league is where I wanted to be, and obviously getting an opportunity and talking with the team was like, hey, there's going to be a chance to play some games, and was obviously looking forward to that.
So you're talking, and when you find out it's Arizona, somewhere you're familiar with, not just the city, but the equipment manager, the location, the practice rink, the city. Does that help?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, right away, obviously Bill Armstrong was different. Coaching staff was different outside of, goaltending coach Corey Schwab. But Dave Griffith, our team services guy, reached out, right away.
Uh-oh.
We just lost you, Wedgie.
We lost your audio, Wedgie. There you go.
There you go.
That was actually Zenobia there. He tried calling me.
Work.
So, yeah.
Z.
Hopefully we're caught back up. Sorry, I lost my train of thought there.
The team services.
Dave Griffith called. I mean, that came in. Rich and Aaron texted me. Stan Wilson reached out. There's obviously equipment staff was very similar, so that was obviously nice getting to talk to a few people that you wouldn't really talk to unless you saw them on the road and things like that. So a few players, I think it was only 4 guys. Chick, Kraus, Fisher, and Keller were the only, I guess, returning players. So it was a different bit of an overhaul, but it was nice to obviously have some familiarity in the city and everywhere I was going.
Scott, I wanted to. We know in this league so much about opportunity, and it's not minutes; it's the situation you're placed into. How do you put that all in perspective? Basically, the opportunities that you've had, whether it's minutes, a chance at a job, or the team that you're playing with.
Uh-oh.
He's really processing Craig's question there.
Yeah, this is the way we all react to Craig's questions. We kind of freeze up. They get so deep and intellectual, which is they're just too bad, because technology today, when it works, it works. When it doesn't,
it's all good. We'll roll with it. He's popping back in just a second, so hold tight with us here. Here we go.
Wedgie, there we go. We thought you were just
doesn't like me.
We thought you were evading Craig's questioning.
I thought I froze you up there, buddy. So. Do you remember the question? My big picture. Your life story. Yeah.
Go ahead, Craig.
Yeah, I was just wanted to get a sense of how much of this league is about opportunity and not just minutes or a shot at the number one job or the backup job, but the situation into which you're placed with the team. How do you put that all in perspective, where you've been thus far in your career?
Oh, no.
Well, Craig.
I'm not going to ask this question again. It's clearly a problematic question.
I think it's the question. I think he
probably is, yeah.
It's freezing up the internet, Craig Morgan.
Here, we'll give him a second to
get back in.
Get back
well,
in.
It's interesting because you talk about these emotions and you talk about, this is the things that people don't think of in pro sports just as a rule, and getting picked off and claimed off of waivers and what that must be like. I can't imagine going to work in one city in the morning and my family not knowing, my friends not knowing where I'm going to go to sleep that night, where I'm going to work that night. I mean, the emotions that you must go through. But then as a pro athlete, you want to play. Like, I think that's most important for pro athlete, any athlete. You want to play. People don't want to sit on the bench. People don't want to watch. People want to be a part of the action and part of the solution. So for Wedgie to have the opportunity, and most importantly, the opportunity to play.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
so it just changes your outlook completely when you have the opportunity to play, because you want to make a difference. And at the goaltending position, it's no fun to sit and watch. And ask Craig, because he did it a lot when he played.
Wow, there it is.
All right. I'm gonna add him back. Here we go.
Sorry, Wedgie. We decided it's Craig's questions. They're just too difficult.
Got to get off softballs from here on out. So
Yeah.
sorry.
So you get claimed by Arizona, and most importantly, well, we're talking about the opportunity to play, and you've just kind of hit on it a little bit what it was like in Jersey, but you come to Arizona and you can play, and that's all you want as a goaltender, right? You want to have an opportunity and you want to play. So tell us how you're fit.
Oh no.
Well, Craig, I can answer all these questions then, Craig. This is happening. And Leah will fix this for the audio, so this will be great. But
yeah, thank you all for bearing with us through
patience.
some technical issues. We'll work through it.
I gotta know, by the way, how do we get this coyote in the middle of the screen, because I'm enjoying it?
I know.
Cody,
Yes,
Leah,
Jacob and I did that yesterday. Little
That's
behind the
nice.
scenes action. I know, it's kind of fun. Cody the Coyote. Did you see the picture of Espo's daughter wearing her
yeah, that's
Cody
great.
the Coyote shirt?
As I said to
today?
Espo, the problem is you can't hug a son. So there you go. That's the problem with one of the many problems with the Phoenix Suns logo / nickname.
well, we're gonna try
Very
Wedgie
true.
again, Craig, and I hope this works. I don't want him to go stand out in the balcony and put his arm up, because that may or may not help.
He's asking me if there's an audio online option.
A call in.
See, there we go. The techie. Thanks, Leah. Leah will check with Jacob.
I will check.
Well,
on
I asked
that.
Craig some questions about the goaltending. One of the things with Wedgewood, we know Carter Hutton is coming off of an injury and coming back to this team at some point. We still haven't had time frames on when he is going to recover and when he's coming back. What happens? What do you see happening when Carter Hutton comes back?
It's so much of it depends on the situation at the time he comes back. As we know, these things are fluid, so you can't plan that now. Like, what if one of these goalies gets injured, right? Or, does Scott continue to play as well as he's playing? There's so many questions. You can't really answer that question, and there's no point in answering it until you come to the situation. It's the proverbial cross the bridge as you come to it, right? But if Scott continues to play like this, I mean, how do you pull him out of the goal at that point, PD? Even, I know there are some people thinking, oh, trade him, then get an asset for him. Look, I'm not sure what that's going to look like at that point, but you also need your team playing with some confidence in front of your goalie, and he has clearly instilled some confidence in this team and got them going on their first streak of the season. So it would be a really tough message for the GM to suddenly move this guy out, even if it's via waivers. At that point, I mean, you do have a lot of flexibility. Karel Vejmelka is waivers exempt, so you can send him to Tucson without exposing him, or you can waive Carter Hutton and probably rest pretty confidently in knowing that nobody's going to claim him, right? So you have options, you have flexibility. Again, though, I just don't think that they solve that until they get to it.
Yeah, and I think that we talk about the Coyotes and their goaltending situation. We saw what happens early in the year if you don't have a goaltender that you're confident in as the playing, as the group. Like, if you don't get that big save and you're not able to stay in games, I don't know if anybody benefits from it. I don't know if you can get better as a team. I don't know if you can move forward day to day and go to work. I think it's incredibly important that they sort this goaltending issue out when it comes to pass. And right now, Scott Wedgewood's the guy. Like, every time he plays, at least they've felt they've had a chance. Every time they've played up until now, he's kept them in hockey games. So it's going to be interesting to see. And I think Carter Hutton's timeline has continually changed. I don't think he's coming back, tomorrow or the next day yet. I don't know if he's even practicing with the group yet. So it's not imminent. So at some point after the holidays, after the Thanksgiving holiday, Carter Hutton's going to be back in the mix. And then now you've got 3 goalies in Tucson, 3 goalies in Arizona. You got David Tendick, and you've got a goalie in the Ontario League. You've got 8 goalies in the organization, and there just aren't that many spots for them. I don't know if you buy them out. Do you put them on waivers? Do you send somebody home? You can't have 4 goalies in Tucson. I think it's going to be an issue. And you're trying to develop Prosvetov and get him as many games as you possibly can.
That's the thing. Yeah. So whoever goes down there is not in a good situation.
No, and you got Kojanesh, who they thought might be the backup here in the trade for Aiden Hill, and they're fine with him down there. But are they developing Kojanesh for the future with Vemelka here now playing like he's playing? I think, honestly, I think Kojanesh is the odd man out right now in this whole mix, and Carter Hutton. I don't know how they make room for Carter Hutton now, and I don't think you can afford to travel with 3. And I don't think there is a buyout rule during the middle of the season. So you're going to be stuck with this Carter Hutton practice with the team, and you rotate 3. You send a guy home and just pay his salary. It's something they're going to have to address. And so many of these goaltenders are on 1-year deals. So I don't know how they're going to address it. I'm sure they have a plan, and I'm sure they put all this on paper, but it's something that's going to have to be addressed. And for the team right now, and we've seen it as a fan base, you want Scott Wedgewood in the lineup. You want to have the hope of having a chance to win a game, right? And I think that's happened since he's been in the lineup, and Veggie's been better now too. With Scott Wedgewood playing as he is, takes a little bit of the pressure off Veggie, and Veggie's been a better goalie.
Yeah.
He played well last game.
I wonder if the mental aspect
right now, by the way. So
sorry, what was that?
he's going to try and join us again without video, so that maybe that was the problem.
All right, we'll try. Thanks again, everyone, for your patience. But what I was going to say was maybe that's helped Veggie mentally, just knowing that the pressure is not all on him, because I don't think anybody came into this team expecting to be the number 1 goalie. All right, let's go ahead and try and add him back just with audio, no video. So let's give this a try. Can you hear us?
I can.
All right. We're going to try this.
We'll try it again, Wedgie.
I'm going to go up on the top of the roof of this hotel in a second.
I know. We want you to stand up on the roof with your arms stretched out. Welcome to Arizona.
That circle, by the way, pulsates like an old-fashioned like speaker.
Does it?
Yeah.
So, Wedgie, important question again. Where is your stuff? Like, where are your clothes? Where's your stuff? Like, you had a suitcase.
My wife's keeping the fort intact. We have a house in Michigan, but actually Jersey's quote manager went to the hotel room I had in New Jersey and packed up a few things that I had. Well, obviously what I had there for camp, and then I actually was able to get home to Michigan when we had the day off in Nashville, and then I re-met the team in St. Louis. Had a little bit of a green card thing I had to take care of. My interview for that was on Monday, so I packed another bag and got a few pieces here and there, but I got enough to get me through.
Thank goodness the Coyotes have a relaxed dress code, so you can wear t-shirt and jeans to games. So that's moderately helpful.
I haven't taken advantage of that yet. I don't have the casual style other than Lululemon t-shirts and workout shorts to walk down that hallway next to a few guys.
Speaking of stuff, I know you've been asked this, but let's get this out there so all of our viewers / listeners can hear it. Everybody's wondering about your equipment, the pads, all the Devils gear that you've been wearing. So what's the deal on getting some new stuff? I actually talked to the guy who's going to be painting your mask, but he doesn't have the mask yet. So can you give us an update on all of that?
Yeah, I'm still wearing last year's mask. Unfortunately, the guy who makes them had a little bit of a health issue this summer, and he's a bit backed up. So obviously feel for him, and obviously let him take his time for the mask molds. They do them customly, so it's not like they just pump out 50 masks and it fits on your head. It's all like kind of like the old paper mache mold, and he does that well. And then True's on the designs. I sent them in, I think, probably 5-6 days ago now. Haven't been here that long, even though it feels like it's been a while, but got those in, and then had to obviously get through designs and get those approved. And once they're made, they go to the Toronto office, and the Toronto office has to approve them, and then they get shipped out here. And
wow,
that's a hop, skip, and a jump. So nothing's obviously moving too fast right now in the world. So there's no superstition, there's no care on
You're a goalie. How is that even possible?
Because the more you have, like, I'm a routine based. I wouldn't call it superstition. I like to do certain things and prepare my body a certain way, but that's more what works than it has to be done. But no, it'll get out here eventually. And now with I've been on the dark gear train the last couple of years in Jersey, I kept the dark base, and we'll add some team colors, and I still got to think of what I want on the mask. We've been brainstorming a little bit, but the paint job itself, I need to dial in once he gets the mold.
Okay, so you're still not sure on that design yet?
Not on the mask, no. I got to figure that out. Pads are done. That's all color schemed, and it'll look cool with the jersey. So I'm excited for those.
Okay, so as long as we're on the subject of masks, we have to go back to a great story that occurred in New Jersey. Yeah, I assume you have that photo, right? There it is. Can we talk about the mask that you styled in homage to David Putty, the Seinfeld character, who was I think it's fair to say, a rabid Devils fan on the show, and I think the name of the episode was The Face Painter.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, Patrick Warburton's the actor, and growing up, my oldest brother was huge into Seinfeld. He was born in the mid '80s, and I was early '90s, so that was always on, and we still watch it when it's on TV and as repeated as it is. But yeah, it was just obviously pop culture kind of reference, easy to put it in with the team. And actually, there's a mask before the one you just showed. So that one I flipped the green and the red, so that the green and the black, so that I'd obviously have it match my gear a little bit more. And we didn't have green in the jerseys, but there's his actual face on a mask. I think it was the 16-17 year. So he's on the left side of the mask, and his wife at the time had reached out and asked if we'd be willing to make him one for himself for, I think it was Father's Day at the time. So David Gunnarsson reached out to me, the painter, and he was like, hey, like, they're asking, I don't usually do replicas, but this is pretty cool. Like, the actor himself wants, or his wife wants one for him. And he's like, I'll take your wedge. I had wedge on the chin at that mask. He's like, I'll take that off the chin or whatever. Like, no, you won't. Like, make it the exact same. You take my family's initials off the back plate and stuff. So I actually have a video on my phone. I think it's 30, 40 seconds where he's speaking to Dave. He's at his kitchen table with his shirt off, and he's just he's opening up the present, and he's like, "Oh, this is awesome. I'm gonna have it at my bar in my basement." So hoping that's still down there, and a cool notion. But I was unfortunately in the minors, I believe, when he came to a game, and then I was traded to Arizona the first go around. I think when he was at another one, because I had reached out to him when I was debuting the one mask, and he was shooting a show in Vancouver, I believe. But yet to be able to shake his hand and say hi. But it's a cool video I got on my phone for sure.
How many masks has Gunnarsson painted for you over the years? Do you even know the count? He couldn't remember. He said it was a lot.
I have every mask I've ever worn, so I can get a count. But you got to think of one a season from probably 13 on, and then with a couple trades, so you add in 3 teams, so you could have probably double digits for sure.
It's crazy.
I'm going to ask one more painting question or design question. I don't know if it's paint or not, or it's a sticker. Your first time around through Arizona, I was on a plane, and you came on in New Jersey, boarded the plane with what looked like a suitcase. Found out later it was your carrying case for your video game console. Yeah. And it had a picture of you on it. It was like you playing goal, right? So yeah, one, is it painted? 2, is it a sticker? And 3, I'm still to this day can't decide if that's like one of the coolest things ever, or maybe just a touch nerdy.
Oh, it's definitely nerdy. But no, that was so the company's called Games with the E and the A switched, and I still walk around with one of their backpacks. But yeah, they made like a screen inside the briefcase, and then it had a strapping system that would keep your Xbox from shaking around and breaking. And it was all strapped in, and then it was just an all-purpose. Bring this one thing. You don't have to hook up to hotel.
Oh,
See,
no.
That was the most important question I asked all day. And he gets kicked off. Literally, I've wanted to know this for years, and it's finally getting.
We're keeping the suspense alive.
All right, we'll try and bring it back one more time. So we gotta ask him about the photos that Dad sent.
Oh yes, we do. We do. Okay, here I'll try and re-add him. He's back. Here we go.
Appreciate your patience through this, Scott. This painful, but.
Are you there? Yes, it just keeps saying the page reloads. The page reloads and it kicks me out. So I don't know what's happening there.
Weird.
But yeah, so
do you still travel with something? Do you still travel with video games?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I don't sleep on game days, so I need to keep myself occupied.
Huh.
That's amazing. You don't nap? Even I napped, and I'm clearly
I find I feel like I just get really groggy, and I don't start the engine back up till the second period. So yeah, no.
Whatever you're doing, it works.
Yeah.
No, now I have just an Xbox, and then it almost looks like an iPad, but it's a 4K 13-inch screen that just slides in my laptop case in my backpack, and
Well, This is amazing, Leah. Our success rate on technology at PHNX Coyotes podcast is just amazing. Unfortunate. Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
So I want to ask him, Craig. So let's prep because I have
Terrible.
one question left that's incredibly important, and you have one that the most important question we can ask.
We got 2 questions left.
Yep.
Okay, so you'll get
All
to
right.
the pictures, and then I'll get mine.
All right, here we go. We'll try again.
Okay. Wedgie, I gotta ask you.
Yeah, see if the outside works.
Oh.
I can actually hear it.
Here now.
Yeah,
So
we can
We
hear
hear you
you.
great.
Your dad sent along and shared a couple photos
Is that okay,
with
or should
us.
I go back inside?
No, you're great.
No, you're fine.
It's fine. Your dad shared a couple photos with us,
All right.
and he kind of he knew at the time that one of those photos would make you a little bit angry. So we're gonna put up those photos, and you can tell me which one it is that would probably make you. I don't think it's this one. That's a money shot. This is you as a defenseman, right?
Yeah, that probably I don't know age, maybe 7, 8. I'm not sure, maybe even younger.
All right, here's the other.
There's the
That's
other.
style right there.
Here's the
Look
one.
at
What's wrong with
Can I
these
get
photos?
a tighter jersey?
that. Oh my goodness.
I don't know if that's a player jersey wrapped around a fat kid or if it's just
Pre-game snack of Twinkies, clearly back in those days, Reggie.
that's waking up with Cinnamon Toast Crunch and going to bed with
Oh, wow. Well, we talked about whatever you're doing is working. Have you made any changes to your game since getting to Arizona? Why the success here? Is it just confidence, is it preparation, or is this just you're getting an opportunity to put more games together and you're getting to play more?
I think it's a combination. I think I don't know mentally what if I go back and kind of reflect on the first couple of games in Jersey. I didn't think I played bad by any means. Had some tough spots, and obviously it's not an easy game to win. But I just feel like when I was coming here, I just kind of stuck to what kind of worked, what felt comfortable. Obviously, like I said, the door was kind of closing there, and it didn't really feel like I had an opportunity to just steal a job regardless of what I did. And then when I came into the situation here, and it was kind of, the GM called and said, hey, like, you're gonna have a chance and there's an opportunity to stick and maybe find a home if you do well. And it was kind of like, all right, like, that's all I need. Give me a green light and I'll take a run at it. So unfortunately, with the time running out in Jersey, regardless of what I did, at least kind of gave me a second chance, maybe a little bit of spark. And I don't like to let those slip through my fingers.
So right now, and I know it's hard, but your contract's up at the end of the year. So you just want to have a job just like the rest of us. Everybody wants to work. So are you thinking big picture like that? Or are you thinking, hey, I got to be prepared for Connor McDavid on Wednesday? Is it a smaller piece and the rest takes care of itself? Or are you and your agent actively pursuing things as it is? Or how do you approach your day-to-day right now?
No, day-to-day right now is, what's for dinner. Nothing crazy on, moving forward, figure out where I'm eating out for the 900th time. But no, I mean, obviously I'm a realist when it comes to it at some points too. Like, obviously, I look forward to the future now that we got a mortgage and, my wife and I are we're married, but we got a ceremony this summer and, want to start a family, things like that. So you think big picture as a normal human being, but no, there's no agency talks of, pay us or do this or do that by any means. I would love a one-way contract. I feel like I got ahead of myself maybe a little bit last year with what I did. I mean, I didn't win a lot of games, but I played really well. And, once you not struggle, but you're up and down for so long, that one-way contract kind of solidifies a job. You can come into a team without having to, be in a hotel to start a season and fight for a job and wait to hear what your life's going to be like. And it's kind of a bit of a mental grind there where you got guys that come down in August to an NHL training camp and they've been in their house and making, their kids are getting ready to go to school and everything's going to solidify. And I come down with, a backpack and a suitcase and just kind of wait to see if I can bring down luggage or see my wife and, since, the early September. So that's kind of been the struggle. And that's one thing I hope to obviously earn is just the ability to, be solidified on a team to start the next season would be, the next step for me eventually as this year comes to an end. But, all in due time.
How's the mood in the room right now, Scott? Like you weren't here when they were going through their struggles early, but clearly now you've got points in 4 straight. What's the mood like in the room? How are the guys feeling?
I think it's, a combination of obviously everyone's happy, but I think it's a bit of like a relief and and almost just kind of that dark cloud has subsided, and now it's like, okay, like we knew this was here. It was just we finally saw the result. I don't think it was ever a question of like, we haven't won, we're terrible, blah blah blah, all the negatives that you think might come through. And when I came into the room, it wasn't, talking to the team, it's like, hey, like we had 2 bad games. The rest of them we were in them, and we should have won on a bounce here or a post there, and we got great goaltending, and then we just couldn't put the puck in the net. So it wasn't like they were like, we've been blown out 12 times and a regulated NHL team. But it's been great now. And I mean, obviously, once you get any points and a couple wins, and you get your win songs after the game, and guys are happy and know how hard people work and how hard people care, it's obviously a bit rewarding.
And last, we got big poll: veggie or milkman in the room? Veggie or milkman?
Well, veggie, wedgie just kind of come out at the same time sometimes. So
yeah, exactly.
A little bit, but I feel like veggie kind of rolls a little bit more than milkman. I don't.
That's what we think too.
Okay.
That's the most important question.
Like, when's the last time you ever saw a milkman?
Exactly.
Like we were talking the 1950s. That's the
I'm
mic.
going to ask him that question, but yeah, I give him veg, and it's kind of the same thing with me. It's either wedge or wedgie. One of the strength guys called me Scott the other day. I'm like, you my mom? I haven't heard Scott in forever.
That's awesome. Well, Wedgie, thank you so much for joining us and bearing through us with the technical difficulties. We'll try to have you back on again in another circumstance, but it was great chatting with you, and best of luck this week.
No, thank you guys. I'll upgrade the Wi-Fi bill here. Maybe pay for the high price one or whatever the hotel offers.
All right. Perfect.
Thanks, Wedgie. Good luck this Wednesday.
All right. Thank you, guys.
All right. That was Arizona Coyotes goaltender Scott Wedgewood. We made it work a little bit, just like his career, just Petey, unpredictable in and out.
But that's a mic drop right there, right? I mean, you get it from his
goaltending partner says veggie.
Like, literally nobody on the team calls him milkman. I keep saying this. Stop trying to make it milkman. I
just honestly, it's like one of those debates that isn't a debate. It's a question. It's not a question. Like, I will vow to stop talking about it now. There is no more milkman. We're not going to ask the question. We won't do any more polls. When we refer to it PHNX, it is now veggie. Well, that was really good. And that was great. I'm glad we had him on.
Yeah. My response when I see milkman now is going to be who? That's it.
Exactly.
Well, I apologize for all the technical issues. I hope you were able to get some of the content there and some of the things that Scott had to say, because this team's turnaround clearly came when Scott Wedgewood was claimed off of waivers from the New Jersey Devils. Like the season literally feels like it's turned around on his shoulders. And he's so laid back. I don't think it's affecting him. I don't think he feels the pressure. I think he just gets up and plays. Like, I think he's a pretty calm, cool, collected guy, very cerebral, very smart, understands the situation.
Very confident.
Yeah, very confident.
In spite of all that he's been through, he's got a lot of self-confidence. And by the way, I'll have a story on him, a deeper dive looking at his journey over the last several years. Got a chance to talk to his dad, and that was a great conversation. Some other sources as well. So we'll have a story up on PHNX Sports tomorrow as well. But just a really good story right now. You love how these things, even in the darkest of seasons, there are always these incredible stories that arise over the course of an 82 game schedule. And he's been the best story, in my opinion, so far for the Coyotes with him.
Yeah.
And, the parallels between the last time and then sparking this team on literally the only run they've had of the season.
It's been
Have they
really
named a goalie yet, Craig, for tomorrow?
What's that?
Have they named a starter for tomorrow against Edmonton yet?
Name of a starter, but I wasn't at practice today, so just so y'all know that I was slacking today. I think I was actually working, but
well, I was gonna say, the Coyotes are on a little bit of a point run here, and I'm sure there's some folks around who have been making some good money betting on the Coyotes on the DraftKings Sportsbook app. So if you're feeling confident about this point streak that the Coyotes are on right now, and you want to continue riding that wave and bet on them, or you can bet on anything else, you can do so using the DraftKings Sportsbook app. And this week for Thanksgiving, the promotion, new customers can bet $1 on any Thanksgiving NFL game and win $100 in free bets if either team scores a point. Also, for those Thanksgiving games, all customers get a risk-free bet up to $25 if your same game parlay doesn't win. So I wonder if Petey will take advantage of that one, although he says he's done betting on football, but
Yeah. I know. I'll be sitting there Thanksgiving going, well, there's 3 football games, right? Like, what better way to celebrate Thanksgiving than a 3-game parlay?
Exactly. So be sure to download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use that promo code PHNX, bet $1 on any Thanksgiving NFL game, and win $100 in free bets if either team scores a point. That's 21 and over, Arizona only. Gambling problem, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. New customers only. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Craig, I know you weren't at practice, but any injury updates for us? Any COVID players and COVID protocol updates?
Yeah, as I was saying to you guys earlier, Jay Beagle's not going to play this week. They're going to have to do further tests on him. So clearly that impacts their center position even more. A position that they were not deep at to begin the season, and now they're down Nick Schmaltz, Jay Beagle, and Johan Larsson, who is still in the COVID protocols, won't be eligible to come off until this weekend. Andrew Ladd is eligible to come off tomorrow. I'm not sure they'll put him right back in the lineup after he's been off for 10 days. I would assume they would want him to practice for a couple of days. Maybe he'll play on Saturday, and then Phil Housley's going to be back behind the bench because he's out of COVID protocols. So got that going. I don't think Anton Strahlman is quite ready yet. So we're probably going to see close to the same lineup we've been seeing, and maybe that's not a bad thing because they've obviously had a little bit of success with this lineup.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. The next 2 games, you're looking at teams that, Ben and Sagan up the middle in Dallas on Saturday. You've got McDavid and Draisaitl up the middle against Edmonton. These are teams that have strong center ice position, not the time you want 3 or 4 regular centermen out of the lineup. So luckily enough, we had Wedgie on today because he clearly is going to have to be a factor in if there are to be more points and we keep this consecutive points streak going, because I really believe that they're going to have their hands full on Wednesday. This team is offensive. They're quick. They transition better than any team in the National Hockey League. They're going to need good goaltending for sure on Wednesday.
Petey, I haven't been paying attention, but when Tip was here last time, he broke up McDavid and Draisaitl, had them centering different lines. Is that how they've been rolling recently?
Yeah, they have. And I think, the one thing that Tip can do is he can make those adjustments quickly. And when he feels they do that when they need to get an extra push, when they need to find that little extra offense, you'll see them getting paired. But right now they're separated. They got McDavid with Hyman and Puljujarvi. Nugent Hopkins is with Draisaitl and Yamamoto. So they have those 2 split up. So that makes it even more difficult for the Coyotes. And when you can focus on one line, you can try to put a checking line together to handle it. But when you split them up, it makes it so difficult when you can separate those guys and roll them one after the other. You can't match lines when you do that. So we'll see what happens. I mean, it's a team that is offensively gifted, and right now the Coyotes have been winning 2-1. So they need to defend. And they need to defend extremely well between the blue lines. And Craig, that's funny because I saw something in the Discord that somebody wants you to explain the left wing lock. So I'm looking forward to that article when we get into the left wing lock. But they do need to defend well between the blue lines if they want to have a chance against Edmonton.
Yep, for sure. Well, we will be back tomorrow night for our post-game show after the Oilers game. Another late one, an 8 o'clock game.
8 o'clock? Really?
They're really hitting us with these lately.
Yeah, it's 8 o'clock start because of the Sportsnet doubleheader.
Can we bring a sleeping bag to studio?
Our Thanksgiving podcast tomorrow too?
Yes. So we are dropping a audio podcast also in the morning. So we'll have the post-game show tomorrow night and an audio episode to get you until 8 p.m. since it is such a long day. PD and Craig and I debate Thanksgiving related topics such as, is turkey overrated? When is an appropriate time to put up your Christmas lights? Should there be sports played on Thanksgiving and more? So please give it a listen. Tweet at us if you agree or disagree. I was heated during the discussion, so I'm sure many of our listeners will be as well. So let us know in our members only Discord what you think about that. You can join that by becoming a member at gophnx.com. So a lot of stuff you can do tomorrow. You can become a member, read Craig's story on Scott Wedgewood that's coming out tomorrow, join the members only Discord, listen to our audio episode about Thanksgiving, add your 2 cents to that debate. If you haven't already seen it, we have new shirts in our locker. So we have this brand new design.
Sweet.
And new colors of Cody the Coyote shirt. So check all of that out at the PHNX Locker. Members also get exclusive deals of the week on merchandise every week. So you'll want to be sure to check that out and let us know. Tim says turkey's overrated, but if you smoke it, it becomes way underrated. And that is actually an exact word for word comment out of one of our mouths on tomorrow's episode, but I will let you listen to find out who said it.
Well,
I'm just trying to decide if they should wait.
Here's another thing to ponder. Does a love of cranberries ensure that you will live a lonely life? I'll let you think about it.
And speaking of that, Erin says, I'm excited for Friendsgiving, and I believe she's bringing cranberries to Friendsgiving tonight. We have a PHNX Friendsgiving happening, so just a lot of takes.
Erin's going to be in the corner by herself tonight.
I think to get that Thanksgiving joy, you should listen to that podcast on Thanksgiving Day. Because if anybody needs to bring joy to Thanksgiving, it's me.
PD,
you had no joy for like the first 15 minutes of that podcast.
And then you find out why, because then you hear about PD as a child and what a menace he was.
Hard to believe all of those stories of
I'm dying.
Bah humbug.
Saul says, I will not stand for this.
Bah humbug.
Oh,
was he a cranberry guy too?
I don't know.
Cranberry or turkey?
He says pumpkin pie is trash.
Yeah.
Pumpkin pie is trash without whipped cream. Okay. But what kind of whipped cream? It's got to be real whipped cream, not the spray can kind.
But it all counts. The spray can. Saul is digging into the turkey, the Friendsgiving, and we've talked about this on the podcast, so it won't ruin too much. But this is officially my first Friendsgiving.
I didn't know it was cranberries 2 weeks ago.
No, I don't. Yeah, either I don't have friends or I'm too old. One of the two. I'm not sure which. I guess we'll find out in a couple hours.
Gosh, we will.
The anticipation is killing me. Can we put it somewhere else? Like, it's so far in traffic, right at rush hour. Like, really?
Oh my gosh. You always have something to complain about.
That's sad but true.
Oh my gosh.
No, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be fun.
Next one's going to be all the way out in Gilbert, buddy.
Gilbert. Is that still part of Arizona?
Yeah, there are a lot of us that live out this way. So you want to get chirped a little more on this podcast?
You need a passport to get in?
Oh my God.
No. At some point, we need to get a hold of that Mikhail Bodker weather forecast where he talks about Gilbert to put on the show because it was so good. I don't know if you even know what I'm talking about, but Mikhail Bodker,
idea.
They had him do a weather forecast one time for one of the local stations, and he's around the cities.
I got my
not much out there.
Saul nailed it. I've got my summer place in Yuma. Yeah, that's right. A long drive in today to get to Friendsgiving from Yuma. Can you Uber from Yuma to Tempe?
Oh my gosh! Wow.
We need to get out of here.
Yeah,
that was good. By the way, we'll end it with Scott Wedgewood has turned our whole season around here in Arizona. It's made our jobs easier because we get to talk about some positive things on the air, and it gives our fans the ability to stay till the final buzzer and have what we all wanted is just some hope. So it'll be interesting to see as this all folds out when Carter Harton comes back. But for now, Wedgie's the guy, and hopefully he can build the wall and put up a fort tomorrow night against Connor McDavid. So I'm excited.
I'm excited too. And as always, don't forget to check out the DraftKings Sportsbook app this week for those NFL Thanksgiving games using the promo code PHNX. Betting on those games, if either team scores, you get $100 in free bets. And please follow us on Twitter at PHNX_Coyotes. The Slapshot bet is still on, so we need all the followers we can get. So Uspo will have to take a slap shot from a player of our choosing. Please follow each of us on Twitter at Liam Merrill, at S. Peters Hockey, at Craig S. Morgan, and check out PHNX Sports on YouTube, on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. And if you're listening to this as a podcast, please like, subscribe, and leave us a review. It's really helpful. Thank you all so much. We will see you tomorrow for post game. And please let us know your thoughts on our Thanksgiving episode that's coming out tomorrow as well. So on that note, have a great day, everyone.